All right.
Oh,
I do.
Go ahead.
I've never gotten that. That's funny.
All right. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is the Mentality Show from the
Luke
crib.
Wilson.
We are at the house for the second or third month. I don't know. I mean, shit, we've been in the house so long. We are broadcasting our show. We're usually at LA Talk Radio, but we are actually here. We've been here for months on line Zoom, this thing called Zoom. If you don't know how to use it, then don't ask us. Ask Tech C, because we don't know how to use that shit either. We are here. We are live. The great thing is we are still live. So everything that's talked about, everything that's said is right off the top of our heads, right out of our hearts. You are getting the live feed. So if we say something racist, if we say something sexist, if we say something just so fucked up, do not arrest us. Do not have us arrested. Do not cancel our show. We're just being honest and candid, and we are just speaking our mind, folks. And that's what people love about the Mentality Show. And that's why we have the name Mentality Show, because we speak our minds. So I'm your host, Delano. I got my man Tech C, who's making the Zoom thing happen. Got my man KC, Vato V, Scully. We are all in the house today, and we actually have a special guest with us today. He is going to discuss with us the industry he works in. He works in the entertainment industry. As we all know, there's different industries that are affected by this coronavirus, affected greatly. Of course, we have our essential businesses that we, grocery stores and gas stations and things like that, hospitals. But there's also another industry that we all need that's actually essential for our mental health, and that's the entertainment industry. So we have a gentleman here with us today. His name is Matt Fisher. He's a camera assistant. He's in the union also. He's in the industry. He's been in the industry for 10 years. This is his bread and butter. This is how he makes his money, folks. So he's going to talk about his struggles. He's going to talk about his struggles, his people's struggles, his brothers and sisters in the entertainment industry, what they're dealing with. And maybe he's going to explain to us what he's heard as far as things opening back up in the industry and just how things are done. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Matt Fisher.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm sure you got a lot of time on your hands with what's going on.
A lot of gaming.
Yeah, what's on your mind, Matt? Tell us what's going on. I have a lot of questions, but speak your mind. This is your moment. Speak your mind.
I think what the main problems in what's going on right now is that we're suffering from so basically we have to work every 6 months. We have a amount of hours that we have to work and accumulate to get health insurance. So we have one of the best health insurances if we make our hours. So we need 400 hours every 6 months to get our really good motion picture, which is UCLA health. Mm-hmm. And right now, obviously we've been off work since April, and a lot of people weren't working a little bit before that because over the holidays it's kind of it builds up until November, and then once it's December, it kind of stops all the way till end of January, beginning of February. It starts back up. So people weren't really getting back into the motion for this year. And so they lost a lot of their work hours. And so what they're doing is that they're helping the people that are weren't able to get their 400 hours, which is awesome. And that's really good. But for now, so from April to October, which is another 6 months that you have to accumulate 400 hours and work, we're not working right now. So they have to come up with something for the people who got their 400 hours last 6 months, but now this 6 months aren't going to be able to work. So those are the obstacles that we're talking to our locals and jobs that we're trying to get back, obviously, to working. And one of the guidelines is that we're going to be tested every time we even come to the stages before we're even able to work. And one of the issues with that is being insured. All these production companies are having trouble finding insurance people that are going to take this on, because say I go in and I'm healthy and by the end of the day, I get tested to leave and I have it. Well, before I started work, I was healthy. So technically, if I really wanted to, I could try to sue my production company saying, hey, you guys got me sick because you wanted me to come in and work. Well, all these insurance companies are going to lose lots of money because look how many productions and TV and film that goes on in Hollywood. So that's their main struggle is right now for the producer side and the employer side is them trying to find insurances. So that's one aspect. That's their aspect. But for our aspect is, and it's going to cost them a lot of money to be able to be insured for the people who are going to try to sue them if they get, and all those tests that they have to have for each individual person and each individual project. So that's going to cost a lot of money right there, is just being able to be tested every day so I can go into work and say, hey, I'm healthy enough to work. And also what they're going to have to figure out is how many of these shows and how many of these films are about, whether it's about sex, kissing, or, because all these actors are going to have to kiss each other. And what are they going to do? I don't want to kiss that person if that guy may be sick or may have it.
Yeah.
So all these tear jerkers or all these emotional movies that they're based on a lot of soap operas, they're going to start kissing dummies. Who's going to want to watch a show about, people kissing dummies?
No.
So it's like what are they going to do with some of these things?
Man, I'm a single guy. I'm actually I do website dating, so I kiss dummies all the time.
He has a sex doll right now that he kisses, so he's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a quick question. When you bring up those tests, you bring up those tests and being tested every time you go in, maybe when you're leaving. I know a lot of the local hospitals have issues with the inaccuracies of the test. There's false negatives, false positives still. So how are they going to take care of that?
Exactly, and that's what they're figuring out, and that's why we haven't gone back to work, because they don't even know yet. They don't even know what works. They don't even know what's going to work. We're gonna have to wear a mask all day and cruise, so that's going to affect our health as well, like being able to breathe, because we, especially like the contractors and the grips, they move heavy equipment, and they're not going to want to have a mask over their face where they can't even breathe anyway. And on these stages that are poorly ventilated anyway, it's going to be, I don't know, all these shows that think they're going to come back August or even July, July. I don't think it's going to happen. They don't know what they're doing yet.
No,
so Matt,
there's a couple of shows.
Here's a question, Matt. You guys said you're gonna be tested. Obviously, like Scully said, you guys are gonna be tested. But don't you guys get your test results within like 3 or 4 days or something like that, or how is that gonna work? That's weird.
I think that's another issue. They don't know. They need to make a test that is right on the spot.
Right.
Because usually it takes a day. I would think it would take at least 12 hours to get a test. So they're gonna have.
I think it's a little longer nowadays. I think it's a little longer. I think it's like 3 or 4 days, maybe up to 5. So, within those days, I mean, if you're tested every day, so when you get your test results, and then you get tested again, you might have it, but you don't know when you're gonna. You don't know when you. You know what I mean?
So that's another issue, is that we're gonna have to wait to go back to work until they can make a test that's good enough to be done right then and there. Whether it's the temperature thing, which doesn't even show anything. It just means I don't have a temperature. It doesn't mean I don't have the
symptoms.
Have the symptoms. So that's just another issue, is they're going to have to come up with something that can be on the spot, 100%. You don't have anything.
Exactly.
Then you can go to work. So until that happens, I don't see people going to work.
Do you feel that once they approve a test, they're going to cut back on people on the set? Like, for example,
that's another issue. Yeah, go ahead.
For example, like, say if the boom person gets sick, are they going to have a backup boom person? Because you can lose a lot of production, a lot of time if one person gets sick.
Right. So they're usually in every crew, there's a boom utility and a boom operator, and then there's a sound mixer. The sound mixer puts all the he does all the vocals. So when one guy's going to talk, he turns up his volume. And when another guy talks, he turns up his volume. And then there's a boom operator with actual pole with the microphone at the end of it. And he's putting it over the camera so you can't see him. And then there's an assistant to him. So yeah, if that guy got sick, they would either have to call in another boom operator or use that utility to use that boom until they can bring in someone else. But what you were saying about, there was another thing that I read about Crafty, which is, you know, we get food paid for us.
Oh, I heard they're gonna cut
the
that
production
out.
company. They're gonna cut it out, but what they're gonna do is, you know, they're gonna do the styrofoam boxes, and each person they're just gonna get a pre-made meal. We're not gonna be able to go through like we used to the lines and pick whatever out that we wanted. Now it's just gonna be, here you go, here's your food for the day, and this is what you get. This is what you get. And also, I heard you're not allowed to leave stages anymore to go off, say, because some of us used to like to go off and go to restaurants to have some food, you know, a little beer, but they're not going to allow you to do that anymore. You're not going to be able to leave the studios.
These actors are going to have to earn these bucks now. They're going to have to earn it.
Exactly.
Well, the actors going to have their own little fucking trailer and be catered to. These hardworking people behind the scenes are getting fucked. They're going to be the ones that got to sit there in the sun or in the rain and deal with it all day.
Yeah,
and they're going to do offsetting lunches. So each crew is going to go and have their separate lunches throughout the day now. And we're not going to be able to all go, like, usually we get a break from, you know, 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. It's all an hour. Everybody breaks at the same time. Now they're not going to be able to do that because there's not going to be enough people there's going to be too many people to break all at once. So they're going to do offsetting hours, which is going to be crazy in itself, because once the operators and directors go on a break, you're not going to be able to do anything anyway, because those are the 2 units that you need. And the actors, those are the 3 key units you need to shoot any motion picture or episodic is the camera and the director and the actors. If they're all on a lunch, then everybody is going to be on a lunch for an hour, whether they already took their lunch or not. So it's going to be, they're going to have to figure out a lot of things for our industry, which
sounds crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. And we have to
follow
it.
It sounds like a mess.
Yeah.
Here's another issue. Like, if one of them does test positive, that means everybody around you has to be quarantined.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
You know, that's another issue right there in itself. So it's just a mess. You know, it's crazy.
And then what about all these spouses and kids? Because what are they going to do? They're going to have to get tested too.
Yep.
For me to even in order for me to go to work, if I have a kid, they're going to have to test my kid too, because what if my kid has it and I don't know it yet and I don't show symptoms, but yet I can spread it? Like, they're going to, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
this is something
none of it's going to work.
This is something every industry, this is unprecedented for a lot of industries. Man, let me ask you this. You said something about, you said something to the degree of if an employee gets sick, they can complain and then everybody loses their insurance. What about consent forms? Have they thought about that? I mean, you can sign a consent form saying that you're willing to take that risk, and it's not, you know, the company doesn't have to take the risk.
That might be their next step. Because if they can't get good insurance for that specific reason, they might have to make you sign a waiver. And if people don't want to sign those waivers, that's not our fault either. What if we don't want to put ourselves in that situation?
Would that be a union thing? Would the union have to approve that? It could be an individual
thing.
Right.
The union and the producers, the producers of America, whatever they're called, they're going to have to sit down, and that's what our local is doing right now. Our IATSE, Local 600, is sitting down with production and the CDC and all these health organizations, and they're trying to put their heads together and figure out what they can do, what's the most effective way. And they're not going to do it until they get it right, because what if they come out and then it's just, you know, nothing's working? They're going to have to shut down again. So that's what I give our union props for, is they don't come out and say something unless it's concrete. So they're not going to push us forward until they feel that in their own heads, would I go back to work in that? So that's the good thing about our union, is that they really think for us. And so they're not going to do anything until they feel safe enough to bring it to us.
Yeah. What about, so you talked about the health benefits. What about pay? How does it work as far as continuing to get paid?
As in right now, or as in when we work? You're talking about right now.
Well, let me ask you this.
Unemployment.
If you had a production going and this happens, say you were filming something now and it happens, is there your pay stop, or is it, do they try to subsidize it in any way?
They would just pay you that day, the rest of that day, and then then you're laid off.
Wow.
So they can get back. So yeah, I've just been on unemployment right now. That's my only saving grace right now, is unemployment.
And unemployment is getting ready to run out too, right? I believe.
Yeah.
It's getting ready to run out next month or something
Yeah.
like that.
I think unless they re-up and somehow get another loan, EDD has no more money after July.
You know what's going to happen?
Run out.
It's going to start being like guerrilla pirate movies, where people go like, we're going to do some non-union movies. We're going to do some shit on the side. Fuck it. We'll pay you, but we'll test you daily, but we can't guarantee shit.
Crazy, because I just got a letter from Keslow Camera, which is I'm name dropping, which is a camera house in Los Angeles, and they're saying they're opening up. I don't know what they're opening up for if no show is able to continue on. I guess maybe for commercials or non-union stuff.
Videos.
Other states, I guess.
What about the porn industry, Matt? What about the porn industry? Do you know much about what's going on there?
Well, I heard.
You were very quiet on that. You didn't say a word, buddy.
I can't remember her name. White lady with a big butt. But anyway,
she's still going into shit, I guess.
She's saying that the porn industry is slowed down too. But what happens is everybody's doing that friends only or some shit, or fans only or some shit.
Oh, like websites.
Yeah, so they're making money doing that stuff.
Okay, that's like that web girl type stuff, right?
I watched a documentary.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's about.
Don't act like you don't know. Don't act like you don't know.
And they say the girls only last about like 6 months and then they're out.
In the industry, the porn industry?
There's a documentary on Netflix, and it talks about the porn industry. And
oh, really?
they say the girls only last 6 months, and then they're out, and then they move on to new chicks.
Yeah.
Wow.
See,
like
man,
right now?
We only last 6 minutes.
6 months. 6 months in the industry. They do a couple.
In their career? What are you talking about?
Yes,
yes.
They move on. They move on to other girls. Girls only are their lifespan in the porn industry is only.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, they're expensive.
In the movie, in the documentary.
Well, you know, it's like real life. We get tired of fucking chicks after 6 months. You know?
Yeah, I do. I can't.
Yeah. If I'm watching a porn, let me ask you something. If you're watching a porn and you see a hot chick, you know, you get your rocks off or whatever, and then you're watching porn again and you see that same hot chick.
Fast forward.
You know?
She's a whore then. You're a whore.
Already.
In your mind, you already stroked to her like, I'm good.
Why are you on my TV? Get out of here.
Right. That's how it is with men, man. That's how it is with men.
Oh, my God.
Matt, you see how we go off on tangents here? 1 minute we're talking about. This is serious. Your life, your livelihood. Like and it's also serious that chicks don't last in porn. You know what I mean?
Ryan Smith said, the guy Sinatra said only fans. That's what it's called.
Fans only.
Only fans.
Guys do most of the work anyway.
With all the quarantine going on, you think they would hire more women because there's a quarantine and everybody's watching now. But for Matt, you know, hey, I got another question. Let me jump back in there. Hey, are you hearing? Are all these regulations and the way they're trying to work through this shit, are they trying to make it permanent, or is it more short term just to get through the next year?
That's a good question. I really don't know that at this time. They haven't really released any of that information to us. I mean, look, so what I can say is they opened up some restaurants, right? So they already did a study on these restaurants that they're letting open. Already 50% of these businesses
Oh yeah, I saw that.
aren't following guidelines already. So
They did. It was
It's gonna
2,000
be-
restaurants they did, and
Yeah.
over 1,000 were not right.
we're already not complying with what their regulations were. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot harder to be able to do this. I think the testing wise, I think they're only going to do it as long as they can. I don't think they're going to do it forever.
Yeah.
But the guidelines of like wearing masks and cleanliness and everything, like as of right now, you know, people share tools and like, you know, hey, I need that tool. Can I borrow it for a second and I'll bring it back? They're not going to let you do that anymore. You can't borrow anybody else's tool anymore. So that I think they're going to keep for real from now on. So some of these rules that they can keep, they're going to keep, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep the testing for forever because that's going to cost production companies too much money. I think they're going to do it for a year,
Do you
6
only
months, and then that's it.
Do you only do union work, or do you do like
For the
freelance
most
stuff
part,
too?
I do union work, but I've done non-union. I do non-union.
Because I think the non-union stuff is getting back in motion. And I fly drones, and I've done every once in a while
Nice.
to do productions. But I was busy for a while, and when this shit happened, you know, everything was dead. But I'm starting to get calls now for non-union stuff because I'm not unionized, but I do
Right.
get calls once in a while. So the non-union stuff is in the works right now. People are getting and they're doing shit.
Will you get punished? Will the union frown on that if you did non-union work, or they just don't have to know?
They right. If they don't know, they don't know. But yeah. They frown upon it. They rather you not. Or what they want you to do is get the job and then try to flip it. But most people won't try to do that. They won't tell their union. They'll just take the money and run.
Matt, you mentioned, I believe earlier you mentioned something about stand-up or comedy shows. What do you feel about the future of stand-up comedy? These comedy rooms, crowds of people there laughing, ha ha ha, all that coronavirus flying all over the place.
That's
even
like
Right.
even the comedians themselves on the microphones.
They're gonna have to.
they're gonna
They're
treat
gonna
that like
have
a
to not
sporting
let
event.
so many people. Right.
Or
They're
they're
gonna
It's
have
gonna be like a.
They're gonna have fake audiences. They're gonna have the sound in the background, and they're gonna be talking to nobody.
Well, what about this? Here's an idea. What if they just did these venues outside? Like Dave
True.
Chappelle on YouTube, he just did a stand-up show called 846. His
We
audience
got
was out.
this, right? We got this nice place called the Hollywood Bowl. So
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
they might have to be outside.
Just
If I was a businessman right now and I wanted to open a business, I'd open up a comedy spot outside comedy spot.
Yeah, it'd be outdoors for sure. Yeah, and indoors, I mean, if that's all you got right now, maybe like the hospitals do, they do the negative pressure rooms.
Right.
You know? I mean, if they had the money, that might be an option because, I mean, everything that when I say it and spray it, it's just going to go up and gone. So
in Vegas.
And
You know
don't
what's-
mistake me for giving a fuck because we've been saying it and spraying it our entire lifetimes, and I say we continue to do so.
And now
Right.
they're saying
And some of these, yeah.
spread through farting. Did y'all know that?
What? What?
Spread through farting.
No more
the
coronavirus
on your ladies.
No more ass eating.
Yeah. Oh well, we know that. That was day one.
Then
but now,
I killed about 3 people in the elevator today. Then.
Crop dust, you know it.
or if you
Ooh,
flush,
bad.
if somebody flushes the toilet, you know these public restrooms, flushing of the toilet can spread the coronavirus up to 3 feet. You know.
Yeah, because that's probably
Taxi Vato V, that's your thing. Y'all do that all the time. Y'all use
Guys reading the wrong shit, man.
Just because you shoot like a female Delano.
No,
I think cleanliness is going to change a lot in our industry too,
nasty
because
motherfucker. Yeah,
a lot of people aren't that cleanliness, and this is gonna change a lot of things in our.
I'm surprised.
I
Vato V
just don't understand this reopening program because I don't understand how they can open a gym before they open a barbershop or a nail salon. Those beauticians, they're taught cleanliness from their colleges and all that stuff. They're everything is dipped in peroxide. They clean shit. And these gyms is just a set. I don't get it. Maybe because I know I need to get my toenails done. That's what's wrong. I'm just pissed off.
Well, I mean,
Take
I
Dylan
was
with
going
you.
to the gym every day, and you very rarely see anyone that's that close to each other anyway, unless you came to the gym together.
Yeah, you know, I was at the grocery store actually today, and you know they have those benchmarks where you know you can't pass this benchmark. You have to be 6 feet away from this person. And this lady in front of me kept looking at me like she wanted to talk to me, and I'm thinking like, man, I'm so glad if we didn't have this social distancing thing, you have to do all this small talk. You know, you got to talk to people. I kind of like people being, you know, keep your distance. Stay the
Oh,
fuck
she
away.
wasn't cute then. She wasn't cute. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Nah,
If
she
she, had
wasn't.
ass, if she was cute and had ass, you know.
Yeah, he'd have been like, ooh. He would have moved the
What's
tape
up?
closer, like, oh, excuse
Social
me.
distance, get closer.
Fuck it
Especially
out.
if she had enough ass to fill that 6 foot radius, man. That's ass right there, man. Yeah, I kind of like this this social distancing thing. You know, when that introvert comes out of me, and I don't want to deal with people and talk to people.
I don't
Mhm.
like it. It's not
Yeah.
me.
That's because you're a Macker. You just like the Mac.
Thank you.
Well,
Hey, I
you
am.
know, there's a lot, and I go off on a lot of shit, but this was supposed to be 2 weeks just to make sure the hospitals weren't going to get overwhelmed. It wasn't about saving people and scaring the shit out of people. I think the government has gone a little too fucking far at this point.
Here we
I
go.
heard-
And speaking of that, it is
Didn't we
now
just-
time. No, we'll do it later. We'll do Scully's rant
Didn't
later.
aren't some states shutting down? Someone told me that at work. I'm not sure. I haven't got a chance to check it.
No,
Where
I
they're
heard like Florida and Texas is thinking about shutting down.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
yeah.
San Francisco's shutting down again for like 2 weeks. Or
Yeah,
3
did you
weeks.
hear about what San Francisco's trying to do with their police? They're going to fire all their police, and then there's going to be just citizens arresting citizens. That's it. There's going to be no police in San Francisco. Well, that's what they're trying to pass right now. No police in San Francisco. Just if you see someone doing something wrong, you're allowed to. And they're going to do
hell
security
no.
companies. That's what they're doing. Security companies. They're
Okay,
doing privately
what?
owned security companies.
Are we
Okay,
going
Matt,
too
They're
far?
going to be the new police.
Okay, Matt, you started it, so here we go. Let's get into it. This police. We tried to avoid it. All right, so here's my idea about this whole thing: defund the police. I don't believe in defunding the police.
Yeah, no,
I do believe
Me
in cutting.
neither.
I do believe in cutting certain monies from the police and going to social services like mental health and things like that. And but do not take away our policing, because right now, I mean, we
We'll
still
just
have
be
that
riot.
criminal element of society. Yeah, we still have a criminal element of society. Let's not get it twisted. You saw with even when all this protesting first started, you saw those criminals, you know, coming out and doing all this shit that they did. And who stopped it? The police. The next day, they ended that shit. And then we started having peaceful protest, which is how it should be. So all this, I believe in peaceful protests. I believe in the cause. But when you start talking about defunding the police, I'm not with that. I'm not going to be out there marching and protesting that. Okay. Now, as far as you know what, I'll get into this whole thing because we found out today in the news, current events, the police officer in Atlanta, 2 police officers, well, 1 police officer was charged 11
For
charges,
murder.
and 1 of them is for murder. I have my thoughts about that. I'm kind of mixed on that, 80-20. But we'll get into that in a second, unless y'all want me to talk about it now. You want me to talk about it now?
I mean, I have something to say about that.
Hey,
Okay,
I got a
all right,
comment on
Yeah,
the
all right, go ahead,
defunding.
Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
just,
So one of the big things people have to realize, and I don't care if people and anyone out there listening or watching this bullshit right now, if
Our
you think
bullshit?
that's something, if you think that's something cool, you're wrong, because there's all the gun owners out there, man. We're going to protect ourselves. And if there's no police out there to witness it, and we know that if we call the police, they're not going to show up, dude, gun owners are just going to fucking shoot people down, dude. There's going to be a lot of fucking bloodshed out there. So be careful what you
she said
I do it.
bloodshed. God damn.
You know that I was just watching right now on the news that a lot of police officers are not responding to specific calls, and a lot of police officers are actually calling out because of all what's going on. You know what I mean?
And
Resign.
quitting. I heard her
They
quit.
don't want to get set up. They don't want to get
Exactly.
set up and thrown in jail.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you know, let me say this, Casey. I know you want to talk about that Atlanta thing. Okay, let me say this about the Atlanta thing. And Vato V, you're right. You have a lot of police officers resigning because their morale is really down right now. And I feel bad for all the good police officers who are out there dealing with that because of what these bad police officers are doing. The good police officers are suffering, the whole department as a whole, and that's sad. But this Atlanta situation, okay, this is how I feel about that. And I was talking to Texie about this the other day. All right, we know that there's systematic racism going on with the police departments, okay? We know that, especially as black men, and now it's evident even to white people and all people all across the world that America's policing system systematically is racist, okay, for the most part. So if you're a black man and you know this, that we're dealing with a systematic, a racist system, and they're shooting black men all over the country, why in the world, when you're pulled over by a police officer, that you know is a 80% chance this motherfucker could kill you or he may be racist, why would you do anything outside of, yes, sir, no, sir, my hands are on the steering wheel, sir, is this what you want me to do, sir? Let me read. Why would you not be I would be like, show things, sir. Yes, I'm sorry. I mean, you talking about the slave of 1860 coming out of me. I hate to say it, but that shit will come out of me because I'm trying to save my life right now. So why would you do anything outside of being just as polite as you can to this police officer? I don't care if the dude calls me the N-word. I can report that later, but I'm not going to put my life in a situation where I can lose it by fighting or wrestling or taking this guy to the ground, trying to take his taser and all that type of stuff and even running away because they're shooting us behind our backs now, as we can see. So I would not put myself in that situation. But saying that police officer, the reason why he's being charged with 11 charges is because he did 11 things wrong. And I don't know if you guys know this, but after that man was shot in the back, okay, and he shouldn't, yes, he should have complied, okay? He was shot in the back. The dude kicked this man when he was dead, shot him dead, and then kicked him while he was down. I don't know if you guys know that. It's all over CNN. So he kicked him when he's down. After he shot him, instead of getting him the emergency assistance that he needed, the only thing he says is, I got him. He says that. The guy took the man's taser, yes. As a police officer, as a former law enforcement, when you shoot a taser twice, it's not a weapon anymore, okay? It's done, okay? And the police officer knew that this taser was shot twice, okay? That is a non-lethal weapon, all right? And the Georgia law, okay, says if your life is in danger, or if you're due to serious physical harm, then you have the right to use your lethal weapon. So this man's back was turned towards a police officer. He had a non-lethal weapon, non-lethal weapon in his hand, okay, that he just pointed at the officer. So the officer—
After he fired it twice though, right?
After it's been fired twice, exactly. So the officer, okay, trying to save face because he was already embarrassed that he got his ass beat on the ground, okay, didn't want to be that dude explaining that to his peers. I don't know. Took his gun out and shot this human being, murdered this human being in the back. Now, 80% the officer was wrong. 20% the brother shouldn't have done what he did. And I'm telling you, all you black men out there, just men, period, do not rattle the police. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know if this dude is racist. You don't know if this dude has prejudices. You don't know what type of asshole. He could be a good guy. He could be a bad guy. Okay, you don't know. Don't put yourself in that situation. Do not take that chance and do something stupid and fight with these police. Okay?
Did you guys see the video in the beginning?
I did. Yeah, the guy was nice. He interviewed him. He was nice. He was a little inebriated. Yeah. They even patted him down for weapons, so they knew he didn't have a weapon.
And so was the cop, right? In the beginning, the cop was nice. He was asking him how his day was. Like I don't know how it escalated. They were just talking as a normal conversation.
The reason why it escalated was because he was drunk. So they were about to arrest him.
And he said, I'm going to arrest you, right?
Yeah, they were about to arrest him, and that's when he got pissed off, and that's when things got out of control. You know what I mean? So my understanding.
So in the long run, if he would have just let him arrest him, then none of that would have happened.
It would have been different. Exactly. See, that's the thing. Like a lot of people, when they're about to get arrested, and they know they're gonna get arrested because they don't want to go to jail. That's when shit starts escalating to a different level. You know what I mean? Was the officer wrong? You know what? That's fucked up. He was in a situation. I don't know what he was thinking. According to some of the reports, when the guy deployed the taser, supposedly hit the officer as well. That's why the officer shot. I don't know. There's a lot of reports up there. I'm not an investigator, so that's what's going on. But the problem is this, though, like when you are already in a situation and you know you're about to be arrested because you made a mistake or you committed a crime and you're gonna get arrested, why take it to that level? What's the deal? Like you should just like you said, Delano, comply. And none of this would happen. A lot of people that don't want to go to jail, they're felons or whatever, they're gonna fight. Why? What's the point? And then the officer gets in trouble for trying to do his job. And I get it. In this situation, maybe the officer shouldn't have fired. But how is it? What is the training? What is the training? What is the protocol if somebody takes your weapon? They could use it against you. What is a protocol?
Well, if somebody takes your weapon, your lethal weapon, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Right. If somebody takes a non-lethal weapon, even in training, they teach you, and they talked about this today. They teach you you can't go both ways. You can't say that a taser is a non-lethal weapon when you're using it against people, but then when somebody's using it against you, all of a sudden it's a lethal weapon and you have the right to shoot. You can't take it both ways. That's a non-lethal.
If you shoot someone in the head with that could still kill someone, can it?
No.
You shoot
not a taser. And the taser's been fired twice, so that taser was non-lethal. Definitely, it was just an object in his hand. But here's the thing though: when the police officer kicked that dude, when he kicked that man, when he out of anger, he just fucking kicked him while he's lying there dead on the ground. That told all of his intentions right there. That told you what kind of asshole he was right there. And that's what was that officer's besides.
Did he also have prior complaints against him too? So we're seeing a pattern with officers doing this shit. They all have a history of fuckery.
So Trump thinks he's the best guy around because he just signed a bill to make a database on officers who have a history with beatings or aggressive.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that database? I don't know why there isn't one already.
There should be one, but he's in
he signed it. He didn't make that up. He just signed it, but he didn't. Yeah, that's not something
What's up with his signature? What is that shit?
Did you see him hold his pen like it was a gift? Like, oh, here's my pen back to you.
Did you see my post? He gets out his pen like, hey, who wants a pen? Hey, I was like, fuck your pen.
He holds a pen like he holds the Bible like this. You know that motherfucker Trump is in a lot of trouble today, right? Y'all know he's in a lot of trouble today, right? You know what he did today? Okay, his lead advisor, one of his lead advisors, wrote a book, and in this book he told all about Trump and what Trump was impeached for a few months ago. They said it could have been the Democrats should have studied it way more. Trump, he's being outed for trying to make a deal with China to get him reelected in the next election. So not only did he do that with Ukraine, now there's a pattern that he did it with China and another country I can't think of. Russia. So he was known to do it with Russia before he ran. He was known to do it with Ukraine while he was president, and now they're saying that he tried to do that with China. And they said throughout his whole presidency, his number one goal was to get reelected. He hasn't done anything for the country. His goal was just to try to get reelected. And this is in a tell-all book now, so it's out there. Trump is in a lot of, he's not going to get impeached again, but he's definitely not going to get reelected.
Yeah, but you also have all these generals. See, the problem is this. There's a lot of generals or a lot of people that have been in a high position that, want to get in, obviously, to administration of a president. When you come into the president especially this president, the problem with that is that you look for example, some of these generals that were a part of the administration, the problem with that is that they look bad now to the people of the United States because they look like, hey, I was trying to work with him, and it looks like they were trying to go with the president or trying to kiss his ass.
Don't say shit now. You don't say nothing now. I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Don't write a book now when you was right there behind him and going through the shit. Fuck that.
Exactly. So it's like, you all of a sudden, just because the president, you didn't want to do something for him, obviously he fired you. If you already know the way he was, so why are you trying to join his administration? If it's all for him, and there's no benefit with you, so there's no point in going into that administration. You know what I mean?
See, now they can see how they realize their mistakes, and when they see that everybody else is hating this motherfucker, like shit, let me join the hate train, you know?
Yeah.
And now, so I can come out of here with some type of solace or some type of recognition. At least I stood up and I was a whistleblower. But for the first, you're right, KC, you're right, Vatofita, for the first 3 years, they were Trump's boys, you know? So now it's not gonna happen. So we do this thing on the show every week. He's been a little quiet today. Trust me, folks.
Because there's another ginger here. There's another ginger. It's a ginger of jealousy.
And he's got a cool fucking name, man. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Same last name. That's true. That's true. Mike Fisher, Todd Fisher. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd.
Wow.
Address and everything. So we do this thing. It's called Scully's Red Rant. So without any further ado, this is his time. He's sort of quiet throughout the show, but trust me, this is his time to let it all out. Scully, it is your time, buddy. Now it is time for Scully's Red Rant.
You know, I'm going to fucking take it right back to where we talked about the abolish the police with all you fucking rejects out there trying to get rid of the can't even change your fucking underwear without your little mommy, and you're living in your fucking parents' basement, all right? Without the police, you're fucking dead. Do you know that? There will be nobody. You're just a fucking pussy. It'll never happen. It's a bunch of hype. It's the news, the media, and you're a fucking idiot.
Hey, Tech C.
I agree.
Tech, we have to get a collage.
Yeah. I
Put that
agree
shit
with Scully. Not so violently, but I agree.
I actually agree with him on that too. This is some stupid shit. To fund the police. I'm sorry. I mean, I was with you until that shit.
Recruitment and training. That's all they need to fix.
Exactly.
Recruitment and training.
Thank you. Or just hire black men as police officers. Just hire black men as police officers. That's it. Just hire black men. That's it.
Hey, hold on though.
Sense.
But see, if you hire, if you hire a lot of black police officers, then it's just gonna be police brutality. So it's like, what the fuck is it gonna be? Police brutality or racism? It doesn't make sense.
There was a black officer in Minneapolis, and there was 2 black cops in Atlanta that tased those kids in the car. It ain't no difference. It's recruitment and training.
They were brainwashed by the white man. Brainwashed by the white man.
They gotta stop hiring these pussies who are afraid. And because they're afraid, they pull their gun, you know, and start shooting.
I couldn't believe that dude stole on the cop like that in Atlanta. I couldn't believe he swung on the cop like that. Woo.
That fucker was strong, man, because that cop was swole. That cop was swole, man.
That cop was the most unathletic motherfucker I ever seen.
You know, he was in jail before that? They let him out. He was in jail before that.
Who?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, they let him out early. That motherfucker should have never been out of jail. It should have never happened.
He had 3 accounts of abuse to his daughters.
Out of his kids.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
These officers with some jiu-jitsu or some shit is that, you know, they can just fuck these people up if they need to. Instead of killing them, take them down and fucking lock them up.
Wait, Matt, you said the guy in Atlanta, Brooks, was arrested for abusing his daughters? That's not what I heard. I heard it was for some type of fraud. Check fraud or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to check that one.
Yeah, we got to check that one. I don't believe it had anything to do with his kids. It was for
Sorry, I don't know if it was his kids, but it said one of the accounts was child abuse.
Oh, he probably was his kid.
And they let him out early because of the fucking Rona. Give me a break, dude. Just sit your ass in there and deal with the Rona. Fuck them. If he would have been let out, it happened. And I'm not sticking up for any cop doing something he shouldn't have or whatever, but stop letting these bitches out. Sit in there, cough it out, put a fucking wet rag on your head like the rest of us.
Yeah, you can. What was it? You can look up his. You can look up his court case in Atlanta, and it tells you a couple of things.
Well, you know, George Floyd was, he's been arrested like 12 times, man. He's definitely not. What? He's definitely George Floyd was definitely not. I mean, he wasn't an angel. Yeah, he wasn't an angel. But none of this.
A human is a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't look. He didn't. Let's not go into that.
I hate that the person that this stuff happened to. I mean, nobody deserves to die.
Do you see what's going on with the Black Lives Matter and the BLM? They're not the same organization, and people are like, who do we give the money to?
Right, they're giving the money, and it's going to some of these campaigns for next president. You hear about that?
Give it to the
Black Lives Matter and BLM are not the same company. It's not the same organization.
They're not the same companies, and people are just giving money to Democrats for the.
Yep.
Give it to Matt Fisher in the entertainment industry. They could use it. They need their help.
Please.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, I don't
lives.
miss this opportunity.
What's that, Scully?
You guys, you're on the right track. Do some digging into what Casey just said.
I didn't know that.
Matt agreed too. You guys, check it out, dude. There's all kinds of fuckery going on right now, man. That's a perfect opportunity for you guys to do some research on it, dude. It's some crazy shit.
See, that's my worry, because these organizations are not even organized, and you get all these people protesting. Now, at some point, you're going to need to get all these people together and vote, and it's just all smokescreen. It's bullshit. Because now people are like, Jordan donated $100 million, all this money. They don't know who to give the money to, because these organizations aren't legit.
Are they both for Black Lives, though? What's the cause? Are they both good causes?
Well, they're arguing with each other. BLM and Black Lives Matter are beefing. Can you believe that?
What's the cause? They want the money.
Black Lives Matter was the first one. They said some other dudes started another one called BLM, and they're not the same thing. And people are like, well, we can't give no money to you guys to figure out. I don't know why they just don't join and be one.
It's always
but
about
see,
the money.
it's greed.
Because they don't want the both same. They both don't want the
greed.
same thing. Yeah.
And you know what I want to say?
Pocketing the money.
You know what I want to say?
I know what you want to say.
I want to say them niggas need to get their shit together. Stop tripping.
Yeah.
Ain't no money. This is embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have white people like, well, I mean, we want to help you people, but I mean,
you got Becky and Timothy out there protesting in West LA in their Audis, and you guys are not even organized.
Yeah, Becky somewhere
ain't helping any of y'all. Get your ass together.
All those beautiful white women running around loving brothers.
hey, Becky somewhere putting her hair behind her ear, going, what the fuck? I don't know. Who do I give my money to? You know. It's
What about Aunt Jemima? Who said this? Who is this?
Hey,
they're getting rid of Aunt Jemima. They're getting rid of Aunt Jemima. And Uncle Ben.
It's racist.
Uncle Ben are
it's
no
racist.
more.
What do you mean they're getting rid of Aunt Jemima?
It's racist.
They're getting rid of the image, the racist image, and Uncle Ben.
It's stereotyping.
Like she's
about to get a makeover.
What's going on? What's next?
This is
Chicken and waffles?
Yeah.
Here, let me be the truth bomb again.
It's not gonna be Roscoe's. It's gonna be Tom's Chicken and Waffles.
I bet they won't get rid of 40s.
I don't know what they're trying to say.
Hot chicken.
That story.
We're making fun of a serious. We're making fun of a serious thing here, folks. I mean, we try to find the funny. We try to find the comedy and everything. I don't know if it's too soon, but you know, America's in crisis right now. America's just very divided right now. It's a lovely thing to see everybody out there, especially all the young people out there marching and protesting and speaking up for what they feel is wrong. That's a beautiful thing. But our generation, the Generation Xers, the people in their 40s, we're the ones who started a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna say we continued a lot of this shit, and now the young people are trying to fix it. So hopefully, each generation will get better and better and better. And I don't think you'll ever get rid of racism. I think that's going to happen. But at least if we can get it down to the minimum, that will be great. And I was out with a white girl the other day, and I told her, I said, you and I right now are actually helping getting rid of racism.
Is that what you told her?
You can just let me. If you can get 40,000 of your white girlfriends and let me fuck them, we can slowly but surely get rid of racism. Trust me. I will impregnate so many white women.
No, that's crazy.
That's child support.
It is a lot of child support. I'll be in jail.
Sign a waiver where you can't give me child support.
I'm worried that everybody's getting caught up in this romantic wave that's going on right now. There's no leadership, And I feel like at the end of the road is just going to be nothing but good memories. And just, I don't know what's going to happen. People are like, oh, I see a change. Has there been anything in paper? Has the people up in DC said, okay, we're going to fix some things? We ain't seen shit yet. We've heard a lot of promises.
Well, they're
Hey,
getting rid of
like I was saying earlier, man, like a lot of cops are calling out, a lot of shit's happening, man. And when people need help is not gonna come, man. Just let you know.
Some politician's gonna get up there, he's gonna give this heartfelt speech and talk about change and the change is needed. First thing we're gonna start this change is we're gonna get rid of Aunt Your Mama and Uncle Ben's. So no, they're starting to make these. They're going after the police and all these policing policies. So that's some type of change. It's a dumb change on the police, but they're trying to do something. You know, we'll see. We'll see. They should have been.
Who makes those policies?
What's that?
Who makes those policies?
Usually the city council. It starts with the city
OSHA.
council.
Well, the police unions are pissed off because they're being left out.
Yeah, they are.
Because the mayor and city councils and city managers effectively pull the strings for the police departments. People are attacking the wrong entities right now. They need to be going after their local government.
Yeah.
Just recruit better, train better, and we can have a better. This is not going to get fixed in a month.
What about sports? What are they going to do about sports?
Oh shit!
That ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen anytime soon.
They're trying to bring
I know baseball's not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it.
Baseball's not gonna make it.
No,
football's not gonna. They already said football might not start. Football's not gonna start on time either.
Well,
so.
shit, half the Dallas Cowboys got coronavirus.
Oh shit! Yeah, I heard about that. It's crazy, huh?
And they're trying to bring the NBA. They got them in quarantine. They got them quarantined at Disney hotel or something like that. And if they leave, they're not going to get paid because they could possibly catch coronavirus. So they got them quarantining there for months while they're playing out the NBA season, the rest of the NBA season.
Hey, here's another thing. This is a little off subject, but it's the same thing with coronavirus. I was reading something and it stated that there's like about 40,000 people at sea still have not, all these cruise ships that are out there that haven't docked because they have the virus.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
There people still out in the ocean?
There's about 40,000. They said there's about 42,000 people out in the ocean.
Hell no.
That cannot dock because they have the virus, and a lot of people have died. They have died, and they're putting them, obviously isolating them because of that. But there's a lot of people out there, man. About 40,000 people still out there. Crazy.
I'd have about 5 women pregnant that was out there for all this time. I'd be like, boy, I got my own country out here.
It's crazy.
Still out in the ocean?
It's about 40. There's about 40,000 people out in the world somewhere in the ocean that cannot dock because of this virus going on.
Nigga, just take me a mile off of Jamaica. I'll swim in. I'll jump out this motherfucker. I'm out.
Think about they're out there in the middle of the ocean. They're going to come back to America and be like, what's going on with the police?
Yeah, I know.
Why are there no police? Why are there no police?
My neighbor's gonna arrest my ass.
Matthew, I hope it works out for you, buddy, man, because you're in a real life situation right now. It's crazy because they can't even find an insurance company to cover y'all, which is crazy. Because whatever insurance company gonna do, they're gonna take on some heavy. Because someone's gonna sue. It's Hollywood. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh no, I got it on set from Kiefer Sutherland. Fuck that. I'm suing." Because they know the production companies have money, so they're just going, I'm suing.
Right. Yeah, they're going to have to go through a lot of steps before they can even let us back in. So,
and it's messed up, man, because right now you don't have your insurance. Let's say you don't have insurance, and then let's say you start going back to work and they're going to be testing you. Who's going to pay for that? You know what I mean? Right. So it's like, and it's expensive. And that
better not be me.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, but they're gonna eventually be like, okay, well you have to pay for it because the company can't pay. You know what I mean? They're gonna come up with all this crap. You already know the deal. So it's like, it just sucks, man. It sucks all the way around, man. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it unfolds.
Any last words, buddy, before we get out of here?
No, I just want to say
I
thank you
gotta-
for letting me come on and talk about, you know, Hollywood and how it's affecting LA and film. I appreciate it.
Who's going to win Friday?
United.
United!
Hey, I got a question for Matthew.
Yeah.
Hey, where's your family originate from, man? Are we related or what?
Here. I originated in LA.
Really?
Oh, you mean like the name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spain. Sevilla. Spain.
All right,
Wow.
guys, we have to get out of here. Matt,
Hey, don't diss us, dude. We might be related, bro. This could be a connection.
And obviously Ireland too, obviously. But like
Yeah.
we don't want to bore
Interesting.
our audiences with small talk. So let's go ahead and talk about these things off camera. Let's go ahead and end the show, folks. It's been a great show. Thanks for letting us get things off our chest. Mr. Matt Fisher, thanks for being here today, and thanks for letting the audience know what you have to deal with and what your industry has to deal with. And hopefully, like Casey said, things will get better for you, man, especially before unemployment runs out. You know, it's hard for everyone, and you're in our thoughts and prayer. You and everybody out there who are suffering and dealing with this coronavirus and you know, racism and all the stuff that it's just all bad. So let's keep America, let's keep people in our thoughts and prayers, folks. And anybody listening, I got love and support for you. And we appreciate you for supporting our show. And folks, that's it. Okay. Remember, in life, folks, you're good, but with our help, you
Be the best.
Best.
That's the Mentality Show. We'll see you next week, folks. Peace, love, and take care of yourselves.
Stay safe, guys.
thank you guys.
Cheers, fuck.